I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hello, American Patriots, and welcome to another episode of the Douglas Ducote Show. You had many places you could be tonight, but you chose to be here with me on a channel that I said I'm done with and never coming back to. Good thing I didn't delete it, because a few things have happened recently. Number one, Rumble, which is where we moved the show to, is once again having issues with live streaming. Not sure what's up with that. I've reached out to them. They're aware of the technical difficulties and they are working on it. But until that gets fixed, we can't do the show there. Then, of course, as many of you know, we had started the show for the actual YouTube channel that we were doing the show live on. And at the last show, I shared some information directly from Dr. Fauci, the guy that's in charge of all this COVID stuff. Information directly from his mouth. And YouTube decided that that was medical misinformation and banned me from that channel for 7 days. So basically, here's what I've learned so far. If you're a conservative, you cannot talk about COVID. Can't do it. Liberals can do it. Democrats can do it. MSNBC, CNN. Look, there are people all over YouTube that are talking about COVID. But when people like me do it, it's medical misinformation. It's just a way to stop us and shut us down from sharing the truth with you, the American people. So that's where we're at for that. That's why we're doing a show here tonight. And thankfully, I didn't delete this channel yet. Still trying to get everybody moved from here over to Rumble. So if you haven't already done so, please go over there, get an account, follow me on Rumble. If nothing else, I'm able to upload videos there. That works fine. And I will upload this show there. And I will do the show here until we get all this worked out. Or I think Thursday, Thanksgiving, I'll be off this restriction. So we can do the show back at the other channel if Rumble's not working. Although we probably won't do anything on this Thursday because of Thanksgiving. So plan on next week. Hopefully Rumble's back up. If not, then the YouTube channel titled The Douglas Ducote Show. Also, you can go to douglasducote.com. Check out the website. Follow me there. Everything gets posted there as well, along with things that you cannot get elsewhere because I have a problem about being politically correct. Or so I've been told, at least. Let me stop for just a second before I continue. I want to look in the comment section real quick and make sure that everything is working here the way it's supposed to. I'm sure somebody would say something if it wasn't. Nobody is saying that you can't hear me, so I guess that's working fine. And everything else here is appears to be doing good. All right, so let's continue on. Before we get into the stories that I want to share that's happening in the news right now, I want to share something with you. If you follow me on Facebook or on DouglasDucote.com or the community section here, you will have heard about a little incident that's happening here in Lake Charles, Louisiana, that I have brought myself into the thick of, because it's very disheartening. It's very, it's un-American. Let's put it that way. For those of you that follow me for a long time, you know that I don't have a problem calling out Republicans, just like I don't have a problem calling out Democrats. If we send you to Washington, D.C. to work for us, the people, or we elect you anywhere as a mayor, as city council, the school board, I don't care. If we, the people, vote you into office, regardless of your political party, and you're not taking care of the people, then I call you out. I've called out Trump before for things he's done that's stupid. And of course, I was attacked for that. Lots of people unasked my platform because, I called out Trump for something. But I call out anybody that does something that isn't correct. It isn't right. Okay? And it's painful to do that in two ways. Not just towards Republicans, but towards Democrats as well. Because I used to be a Democrat. Born and raised, staunch Democrat here in the South. Until I realized around 1986, after I went into the Army, that the Democrat Party doesn't give two shits about the American people, and that they're the party of racism times a million. And once all that came together and I started realizing just how horrible they were for veterans and everything else and the military, I changed parties. So, look, whatever party you're in, if you get elected by the people, you work for the people, not the other way around. And sadly, too many elected officials have gone by the wayside and are doing shit to just pad their own pocket in the future. And I don't like that shit. So, let's talk about what happened. Here in Louisiana, last year, we were hit by two back-to-back massive hurricanes that destroyed Lake Charles, Louisiana. There's not a building in this city, not a structure of any type that wasn't affected by these two hurricanes, especially Laura, which was the first one. Second one, 30 days later, a little bit over 30 days later, was Hurricane Delta, which did even more damage. Then we had a massive flood, which did even more damage. So, what would the city tell you to do in any location that's got devastation like this? They tell you to take all the debris and from your house or your property and haul it out to the street. And then when they get the FEMA money, then they will send trucks to pick this stuff up. All right. And that's what people started doing, because that's what you're supposed to do. And it doesn't matter if it's Louisiana or if it's Savannah, Georgia. Okay. That's what happens when you get hit by a massive storm. Or it can be Tornado Alley up in Oklahoma somewhere. They tell you to bring all the stuff out to the road and they will pick it up because FEMA will pay for that to the city. All right. And that's what everybody was doing here. So after Hurricane Laura, massive amounts of debris hauled out to the street, trucks going around, big, huge cranes on them, picking up this stuff, throwing it in the truck, taking it off where they dump it at. And then, of course, then comes Delta, which added more. And then by the time they almost had all that picked up, then comes the flood. So everybody's got to rip out sheetrock and flooring and carpets and, all their appliances, the dishwasher, a refrigerator, washers and dryers, all ruined. Okay. So all that has to go out to the street. And this seemed to be working fairly good. And for the most part, here recently, the city's been looking a lot better. And a lot of this stuff has been picked up. But in some locations, it hasn't. All right. And how this came to my knowledge, what the city was doing, is a letter was sent out. And here's the letter. And I've got it posted in the community section for you to read it if you'd like to. Was sent out to anyone that still had debris in front of their house on the side of the road. Because the city has decided they're no longer going to pay to have that stuff picked up. Now, I get it. Any city in America, you want to have your shit looking nice, okay? You don't want your neighborhoods looking trashy and stuff all over the people's yards, all right? Totally understand that. But in this situation, who do you think would still have debris in front of their house? Okay? That would be the disabled, the elderly, disabled veterans, low-income families, people that are poor or don't have a job anymore. All right? So, because everybody else, their stuff's gone. And when the city stopped hauling it away, they rented trailers and whatever like we did and hauled it off. So the city sends these letters out. And it went to, this one here went to my in-laws' home. And they're dead. They're not alive. So to see it addressed to my father-in-law in his house, well, that pissed us all off. And then after we read it and we realized that this is a notice of violation, and we read what was in this letter, it made it even worse. So I reached out to the mayor. Our mayor here, Nick Hunter, is a Republican. I think he's done a fairly decent job up until now. When I called City Hall and said, I'd like to talk to Nick Hunter, please, because I don't think he's aware of this letter that went out. And it's signed by the property manager of the city, or property standards, by the name of Jared Falk, Faulk. And I've talked to Nick Hunter many times. It's very easy to talk to our mayor. If you have a problem, you can call him. He'll call you back. And they said he was in a meeting. Let's get your name and number. I gave him that. And I said, what's this in reference to? And I explained to the lady, it's in reference to this letter. Because what it says in the letter is horrible, what the city was going to do and has done. All right. So when I told her this, she seemed a little hesitant to really talk about it, especially when I said that I don't believe our mayor is aware of this. And she said, well, yes, he is. He's the one that approved it. And then I said a few choice words that I probably shouldn't have, but it pissed me off. Long story short, it's been 2 days now. I've made several phone calls to City Hall requesting to talk to the mayor, and nothing. So I sent him a letter, and then I copied that letter, and I posted it in my community section here. I posted it all over Facebook and social media platforms that the city has on social media, because what they did is wrong. And here's what I said. Great job shaming people that still have debris in front of their house. Mayor Nick Hunter and Property Standards Jared Falk. Did you forget we were hit with 2 back-to-back hurricanes and a massive flood last year? You guys sent out letters dated 11/17/2021 to the homeowners that still have debris in front of their homes, warning them to comply within 5 days, or face a $100 fine plus contractor fees per hour to clean it up. To add insult to injury, you shamed all those people you sent letters to by posting their names and addresses in our local paper. And there's actually I think 3 different places they posted it at. The American Press, the official journal of the city of Lake Charles, and to let everybody know that these people are not in compliance. So let's continue on. I said, what the hell were you thinking? If you and the members of City Hall, the City Council, would leave your comfortable offices and go out to the street to the homes you sent letters to, you would find that those, for the most part, that these letters were sent to are elderly, the disabled, and those with little to no income. People in this city have had enough devastation from Mother Nature and COVID, and now City Hall adds to their misery. Every one of you should feel ashamed of yourself for this action, as I am for helping to vote you into office. Your actions are unethical, lacking morals, and un-American. My home has no debris in front of it because I'm able to clean it up. But the attached letter was sent to my deceased in-laws and thousands of other homeowners throughout the city. So, Nick Hunter, if you want to shame the people that voted you into office, well, guess what? It's coming back at you. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, one of the places I shared it to, and I'm not going to go into great detail with this, but I'll just say this much. It has to do with the Republican Women Organization of Lake Charles, Louisiana. And I shared it on their Facebook page. And the leader of that group flipped the fuck out because the mayor's a good friend and basically said that we don't call out our own. This is not right. Well, I'm sorry. If you're unwilling to call out your own, then you're part of the problem. Because Republicans and conservatives have been blaming this same shit on Democrats for years, backing up their own no matter what they do. Kennedy kills a woman, and we're going to back him 100%. And there's so many out there that have done horrible things, and the Democrats rally behind them. So now we're going to do that as Republicans? Because, you're friends with this person? No, that's not how it works. So she removed the post, and we went into a private chat where I basically explained to her how wrong she was, how she needs to resign from her position, and that they need someone in that position that actually gives a damn about the people. And now the excuse is that, we needed to do this as a group and not single anybody out. You can't do this on your own. Bullshit, I can't do this on my own. The problem with the Republican Party is you're now becoming like the Democrats, where everything has to be politically correct. Well, look, the Republicans here in Southwest Louisiana didn't have a problem calling out Senator Bill Cassidy when he voted to impeach Trump. No, they didn't have a problem with that at all. But when somebody like me that has a voice steps on their toes, then I'm the dick. I'm the one that's wrong. No, I'm not wrong. You're wrong because you don't give a shit about the people in Lake Charles, Louisiana that are disabled, that are elderly, that are low income, that can't take care of themselves. And that's the people that need to be helped. I, for one, have been helping them. My kids have been helping them. We have churches from out of state that are down here still from Hurricane Laura that are helping people clean this mess up. This city, my friends, looked like an apocalypse. It looked like an atomic bomb went off in it. I can't even begin to explain how devastating Lake Charles, Louisiana became after these two hurricanes. So the city, in their ultimate wisdom, thought it was okay to shame these people and post their information in the paper. And that is wrong in so many ways. It's absolutely un-American, and they should be ashamed of themselves. And I'm calling on Nick Hunter personally to retract that shit in the paper and apologize to the hardworking men and women or the people that are retired and the elderly and the special needs and those that have little to no income, which is a lot in parts of this town, to apologize for your actions. Because that, sir, is the only way you will get elected again. Because I will do everything in my power, and I know a lot of other Republicans and conservatives in Southwest Louisiana that agree 100% with me that what you did was wrong. Absolutely wrong. And if I wasn't speaking up, nobody else is. Because the media around here doesn't give a fuck about anybody. KPLC, our news station down here, they're a bunch of goddamn pansy-ass fucktards that are absolutely useless. I know that because, I've been interviewed by them numerous times. And when I brought things to them that are damning towards Democrats and liberals, they won't have anything to do with it. Because, we can't step on their toes. No, bullshit. I stand up for right over wrong, and I don't give a damn if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Wrong is wrong and right is right. And I'll be damned, I'm going to make this shit right here in Lake Charles, and I'm going to hold the people accountable that did this dumb shit. Every day, if I have to, I will be making phone calls and exposing this absolute crazy shit that came out of City Hall in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And it ain't just Lake Charles that does this. Look, it's nationwide, where city leaders don't give a damn about the people. Look at the Democrat cities that are just run over with crime in the streets, and the black on black crime and the shootings and the deaths and the drug usage, and they don't give a shit. And when Antifa and BLM starts rioting and burning down buildings, they make their police stand down. Where are the people in those cities standing up to those mayors and those members of City Hall for doing this? They're non-existent. So anyhow, moving on. More to come with this at a later date, trust me, because I'm just getting started with Lake Charles, Louisiana. So, as you all know, the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, he was found innocent of all charges and released. The President of the United States has referred to him twice as a white supremacist. Democrats and liberals are calling for his head on a plate. I mean, it's really bad. So bad that now there's some innocent people that are dead because of the left's horrible treatment of humans. Wisconsin Christmas parade horror suspect and career criminal Darrell Brooks Jr. is being held on $5 million bail after prosecutors formally charged him with 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide today. Brooks sobbed when the district attorney, Susan Upper, announced that a 6th victim, the first child, has died. A 6th charge is likely coming in connection with the most recent death. Defense attorney Jeremy Prairie, P-E-R-R-I, and Anita Keys represented Brooks at the hearing as Upper read off portions of his lengthy rap sheet, including weapons offenses, assault and battery, drugs, bail jumping, and statutory rape. And you know what's going to happen to this guy? He's going to have a freaking monument put up somewhere in his honor. He's going to be labeled as a martyr because that's what they do. Look what they did with Michael Brown up in Ferguson. Look what they did with Alton Sterling in Baton Rouge. These freaking thugs that got their ass killed for doing some stupid ass shit, and they become the heroes, and the real heroes are ruined. Well, watch what the left's going to do with this guy. The district attorney eventually requested the staggering $5 million bail, which Court Commissioner Kevin M. Costello granted. I have no problem with the bail being recommended by state, he said. The nature of this offense is shocking. 2 detectives not only tried to stop this, but rendered an opinion that this was an intentional act. He called the bail extraordinarily high, but noted it's warranted. Well, hell yes, it is. Detectives who witnessed the Sunday incident in which a red Ford SUV driven by Brooks plowed through a barricade and then dozens of pedestrians said it looked like an intentional act, according to court documents. As the hearing went on, some residents were angry and shook their heads and muttered under their breaths. Others stared straight ahead. One victim's relative was present in the courtroom but declined to address the room. She was entitled under Wisconsin's law to be there. As bailiffs took Brooks from the courtroom at the end of his bail hearing, they turned him around to face the packed room. They held him here as he stared at the 2 women, one a resident and the other whose granddaughter witnessed the horror. The residents flipped him off and said, "Oh my God is good," and did the sign of the cross. Should Brooks somehow be able to raise the bail funds, which he won't, he would be barred from operating a motor vehicle or possessing weapons, and he would have to wear an ankle monitor. Brooks' violent past stretches back to 1999, when he was accused and later convicted of aggravated battery with intent to cause great bodily harm. Most recently, he allegedly ran a woman over and punched her in the face on November 2nd. He has an outstanding warrant in Nevada for skipping bail on sex crime charges. The district attorney noted that his criminal record also extends to the state of Georgia. District Attorney Susan Upper told Fox News Digital Monday evening that her office planned on seeking a bail so high that Brooks would have no choice and no chance of posting it. The incident comes just weeks after prosecutors in Milwaukee recommended he be allowed to walk on just $1,000 bail, despite a 50-page rap sheet and outstanding warrant for bail jumping on a sex charge in Nevada. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 damn times. These freaking liberal judges, the blood's on their hands. And the person that let this son of a bitch walk needs to be put in prison themselves. This is absolutely ridiculous. There's no way that this man should have been out of prison with that rap sheet, still waiting to be charged formally or sentenced, and they let him out because of COVID. Bullshit. And now these people or having to bury their loved ones. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Tuesday refused to retract comments by President Biden characterizing 18-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse as a white supremacist. During her daily press briefing, Fox News' Peter Doocy asked whether the president would be willing to apologize for saying that Rittenhouse is a white supremacist on two separate occasions. This is about a campaign video released last year that used President Trump's own words during a debate as he refused to condemn white supremacists and militia groups, she responded. And President Trump, as we know from history, and as many of you covered, didn't just refuse to condemn militia groups on the debate stage, he encouraged them throughout his presidency. And by the way, madam, that is an outright lie. You are a lying sack of shit, because he did condemn all forms of racism, of white supremacy. He even condemned the Proud Boys, which I haven't seen them do anything other than try and defeat Antifa. But now they're labeled a white supremacy group because of one or two of their members that did something stupid, but the majority of them are trying to stop Antifa from what they're doing, terrorizing neighborhoods. So now they're white supremacists? Absolutely stupid. So, what we've seen are the tragic consequences of that when people think it's okay to take the law into their own hands instead of allowing law enforcement to do its job, she said. You're such an idiot. They don't even, there's not even a place to put you in the decency world of common sense. You are, hands down, a complete and utter fool, madam. During his presidential campaign, Biden shared images of Rittenhouse in a video he tweeted, attempting to link Trump to white supremacists. He also attempted to paint Rittenhouse as a white supremacist during a CNN appearance. I don't know enough to know whether that 17-year-old kid exactly what he did, Biden said. Allegedly, he's part of a militia coming out in the state of Illinois. Have you ever heard the president say one negative thing about white supremacists? Have you ever heard it? Doocy asked the press secretary about that statement on Tuesday, saying none of this was proven in trial. And Kyle Rittenhouse says that the president had actual malice in defaming his character. Is that what happened here? The president spoke to the verdict last week, she said. He was obviously condemning the hatred and division and violence we've seen across this country by groups like the Proud Boys and groups that individuals have posted photos with. But beyond that, I'll leave it to his comments around the verdict. Wisconsin jury last week acquitted Rittenhouse in the fatal shooting of the two men during a riot last year. Biden said Friday that the verdict will leave many Americans feeling angry and concerned, myself included, he said. But the jury's decision must be respected. Rittenhouse later told Fox News' Tucker Carlson that he felt his character had been defamed by the president. And there's no doubt whatsoever that he's going to be laughing all the way to the bank, because he's going to go after CNN, he's going to go after MSNBC, he's going to go after the White House. He's going to do the same thing that the boy did that was attacked up in D.C., what was it, last year? I'm drawing a blank on the kid's name, but it was a young kid, like 16 or 17 years old, high school kid, that was called out to be a white supremacist because he had on a Trump hat. He sued the shit out of them, and he's a multi-millionaire right now. And there's still more lawsuits to come in his case. And that's what's going to happen with this one. Mark my words, this kid's going to be filthy rich, and he deserves it. Now, talking about people that do horrible shit, all right? Y'all remember George Floyd? Well, I called that out for what it was. In my personal opinion, I know not everybody agrees with this, but in my personal opinion, there was no reason for the officer to keep his knee on Floyd's neck the way he did while he's handcuffed. He's not going anywhere, and the guy died. So I'm okay with what happened to that officer. As a veteran law enforcement officer myself, besides my military service, there was no reason for that. None. Now he's paying the consequences. He's in prison for it. But what we did learn throughout the course of this is that George Floyd was no different than Alton Sterling and Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin. He was just a thug. He was a drug addict. He had a huge criminal record. And now he's a martyr because the left and the Democrats love to put those people up on big pedestals. Now you're going to love this shit. A painting of George Floyd depicted as Jesus Christ displayed at a Catholic university is hysterical, idiotic, a student told Fox News. Blaine Clegg, a junior at the Catholic University of America, was shocked when he saw the painting hanging outside the law school's chapel a few weeks ago. There's a fine line between recognizing the innate dignity and righteousness of human beings that are made in the image of God and embracing brazen progressive politics, Clegg told Fox News. Kelly Littmore's painting titled Mama shows a mother mourning her son and evokes Michelangelo's sculpture La Pietà, according to the school. Michelangelo's work depicts the Virgin Mother Mary holding Jesus Christ. An identical painting also hangs in the campus ministry office. The Daily Signal first reported. Students' reactions to the painting have been universally negative, Clegg told Fox News. Haven't found anybody who's been able to give a serious theological justification for this kind of hysterical ideology. Jesus has been depicted as many different races, but Jesus is always depicted as nothing but Jesus, the sinless Son of Almighty God, Clegg continued. There has never, to my knowledge, been any serious, respected Catholic theology or icon marker who has depicted Jesus Christ as another human being. When asked whether the painting is of Floyd or Jesus, Littmore has replied, yes. Floyd called out for his mother in a vital video that showed him die under a police officer's knee. The university unveiled Mama as part of Black History Month, according to a March news release from the law school's website, following the violent death of George Floyd on May 25, 2020. Littmore created this icon in June of that year. The description posted with the painting reads, the image is evocating of the Pietà, the mother of sorrows. The description continues, may Mary, the mirror of justice, hear the cry of all who have known the sorrow of losing a loved one to violence and injustice. Amen. Clegg, a former Catholic University College Republican president, told Fox News, it's hard to imagine that a progressive politics could be fully embraced by a university faculty and staff and ministers at the Catholic University of America. The school's vice president of communications responded to Fox's request for commenting, saying, the icon Mama is a Pietà depicting Mary and her son, Jesus Christ. The letters and the halo, which is shortened in Greek for I am, the letters are used in icons only in connection with Jesus Christ, the Son of God. The statement continued, there are those who would like to see George Floyd as the male figure in the icon. That is not how we read it. The image represents to our community a good faith attempt to include religious imagery on campus that reflects the University of Catholic Church. Students at the Catholic University have started a petition to remove the painting from their campus. And thank you for doing so, because no one that commits crimes against other human beings and then, yes, in this case was murdered, regardless of how he died, no criminal should be put up on a pedestal and worshiped by anyone. And then for a Catholic university to allow a painting of Christ to be George Floyd? And the Catholics wonder why I left them a long time ago. Because of their bigotry, because of their hysterical, because of their hypocrisy. Yeah. The Catholics taught me that I can do whatever I want to do on Friday and Saturday nights. I can sin my ass off, drink, smoke, beat up women if I wanted to, rape girls, anything I wanted to do. It did not matter. As long as on Sunday I went to confession, then I'm saved of my sins, and then I can turn around next Friday and Saturday and do it all over again. That's their ideology that they taught me as a Catholic. And that's wrong. Just like it's wrong for the Pope recently to say that after he met with Biden, that he's such a great Catholic. I'm sorry. He is for killing babies. That's something the Catholic Church is against, right? So they've lost themselves, like many other religions have. Literally, they've gone in an area that is just unsafe. It's uncharted waters, and it's dangerous. And I don't have anything to do with the Catholics anymore. I have friends that are still Catholic. I have family members who are still Catholic. What they do and how they worship, that's their business. If they want to continue to go to the Catholic Church, I don't care. It's not affecting me. I won't step foot in another Catholic church after everything that I personally witnessed growing up as a kid with these hypocrites, or at least in my inner circle. Maybe in other places around the country and the globe, there are some good Catholics, and I'm sure there are, just like with any religion. But this shit's wrong. And they know it's wrong. But it's politically correct to do this. And in my mind, political correctness is the damning of America. It is where we lose everything. It's destroying us. Because everybody's offended if somebody uses a bad word. Like I've had people tell me before, oh, well, you're not much of a Christian because you use bad words in your show. What I say is between me and my God, not me and you. So be it. If you're offended, turn the fucking channel. I don't need you following me. I don't need you watching my show. You liberal fucks. You can go to hell. And that's where you will go. There's a few of you out there, and you know who I'm talking about. You all know who I'm talking about because you've seen their YouTube videos. You know, those that are missing their fucking teeth and they look like somebody that got jacked up in a freaking adult video booth. And they're just disgusting pigs. The bottom of the feeding barrel. And that's all they will ever be. So I laugh at their ass. And, it's pissing them off really bad right now that I'm back on this YouTube channel doing this show. Now, I agree. I don't want nothing to do with YouTube. I want to get completely away from here. And folks, I'm working on it. I'm trying my damnness. But because of what happened with Rumble tonight, And because of what happened to my other platform, here I am. So thank you for tuning in tonight for this. It's Thanksgiving week. Wherever you're going to end up, please be safe. Drive careful if you're flying. I wish you the best. I hope you get to spend good time with family and friends. That's what Thanksgiving's all about. Being thankful for what you have in life. And I assure you that me and my family, although we've been through a lot of turmoil in the past year and a half with the hurricanes and the flood, we are blessed above and beyond anything I could ever possibly share with you. We really are. And everything else is just a thing. I will continue to do what I do, which is call out corruption from Democrats and Republicans, call out the liberals and the hateful Democrats and some Republicans. But most importantly, I'm living rent-free in a few liberals' heads that are on YouTube. And I'm loving every minute of it because they can't stand it. It eats them alive that I exist. And YouTube has not removed me for good because in their minds, all I do is preach hate speech. No. I speak the truth about people doing horrible things. You idiots spew no merit bullshit out of your mouths about good people. And one day it will all come to an end and you will answer to God, not me, not anyone else, but to God. Anyhow, had lots of places you could be tonight. You chose to be here. For that, I'm forever grateful. From my family to yours, I hope you all have a wonderful, safe, happy Thanksgiving. Eat lots of turkey. And remember those that are deployed and those that are even local that are having to work, first responders and law enforcement that can't be off with their families for Thanksgiving. Think about them and think about how blessed you are. Even if you're homeless, there's something in your life that's good. And hopefully, if you are homeless, people will help you. And there are good people out there still in this world. Sadly, more and more bad people are coming up in this world. But in due time, it all comes back around. Just like in due time, the Republicans will once again have all three branches of government. And when they do, you better believe I'll be calling out Republicans if they're not there representing we the people. That's what good leadership is about. That's what morals are about and values. We hold people accountable for their actions. When I make mistakes, I'm the first one to stand up and go, I screwed up. And those of you that follow me know that I've done that before. And I've made mistakes or I've reported on something that wasn't true because I thought that somebody that shared it with me, I didn't have the time at the moment to fact check it. And I thought that what they were saying was the gospel and I went with it and it turned out that it wasn't the case. And then I went back and corrected it. And sadly, too many people don't do that. They just spew shit on YouTube that isn't true and try and get people to believe it. So each to their own. Haven't already done so, please go over to DouglasDucote.com, check out the website, check out the other videos you can't see anywhere else because, I'm wrong for doing it. You can also see the video that got me banned for 7 days on the other channel. Yeah, you can watch the whole thing in whole. And you can see just how crazy this whole thing is with YouTube and shutting people down. Anyhow, as always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving in the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families, and our country. Shout out to the state of Texas for activating 10,000 National Guard members and extra law enforcement to go down to the border and counter this huge caravan that is moving into our country real soon. You can believe the feds are going to fight that. And hopefully Texas will secede from the Union, as I think they should, as should any place that the federal government is shitting on right now, which is, everybody. Anyhow, hope you all have a blessed Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Go to Rumble. I'm there. We're going to get the problems fixed soon, and we'll be up and running over there as we should be. And if they don't have it fixed by next Tuesday, I'll be on the other channel, the YouTube channel, doing the show there, the Douglas Ducote YouTube channel. Douglas Ducote Show YouTube channel. All right, everyone. Take care. Be safe. And I'll see you soon.